My name is Dion D. Jenkins, and I'm a Democratic candidate for President of the United States of America. And this is a response video to the Yvette Carnell video I saw last night. Anybody who's clicking on this video in order to satisfy their diabolical urge of seeing black people fight against each other, this is not your video. Because this is not a diss video to Yvette Carnell or Antonio Moore. And I want to make that clear. Like I said, I'm a presidential candidate. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm running as a Democrat because it's a two-party system. Because you really don't have a shot in this era to get into the White House if you do not choose one of the parties. Right? However, I would like to respond because even though I commend the ADOS movement, and I commend everything that Yvette and Antonio is doing. I think it's historical. Yvette Carnell is a very beautiful, talented, intelligent young lady. I think she's one of the new warriors of our era. Antonio Moore is a warrior as well. I think he's very, very talented, very intelligent, very driven, very accomplished. However, I'm going to give a little pushback because I do not like what I see so far in one element of the ADOS movement that was mentioned last night. Before I do that, I'm going to give you a brief history of who I am. I ran for president in 2015 and 2016. I started in 2015 with my campaign. I saw where the country was going at the sunset of the Barack Obama era, and I didn't like it. I saw this white extremist movement blossoming like never before. And I thought that we needed somebody who represented in American politics counteracting. And I was the one who brought the topic of reparations to American politics. I was in many media outlets talking about reparations, telling the people what's needed as a presidential candidate. The last time we ever heard anybody mention reparations was in a negative way by Barack Obama back in 2008 during a debate when a commentator asked him what was his view on reparations, and Barack Obama said that he declined reparations. So it wasn't until 2015 when a young unknown underground hip hop artist, a grassroots hip hop organizer, decided to run for president, said, look, we need reparations. And I had a black agenda that we never saw before in American history on the presidential campaign level. And because of me, Bernie Sanders had to address it because they saw that this reparations movement was gaining steam, and they had to detour it a little bit by putting out the most popular presidential candidate in that era, who was Bernie Sanders. And they asked him, how did he feel about reparations? And he declined for reparations. And he said that it was divisive. He said that it was divisive. All right. And he had Killer Mike out there stopping for him at the same time that I was running. I want to address the comment that Yvette Carnell made about the ballot, down ballot. She made reference to a young man who called her show, who was a little discontented about the down ballot idea. And for the most part, I agree with Yvette Carnell. For the most part. She told him that because the young man who called in was trying to convince her that it was more applicable to stay home and not vote at all. And Yvette broke it down really nice to him and informed him that that was a bad idea. It's not about not voting. It's about not voting for the wrong people. And she kind of hinted on the reasoning why a lot of our people decide not to vote. Not all of our people, but a good number of our people. She told the young man, what is he afraid of? Is it that he just don't want to get out of bed and go vote? Because to be honest with you, that is the problem for a lot of our people. Because voting is a very tedious task. You have to research these people on your ballot so you can know who you're voting for, right? Because you don't want to vote for the wrong person who's trying to kill your black ass, right? So a lot of our people have an issue with doing that type of research because it takes a lot of time. It's strenuous. I mean, even going out to just vote, you got to stop what you're doing. You got to go to your local church or your local school, and you got to actually mark a decision for a candidate after you did research. A lot of us want to watch the football game, the basketball game. We want to go out with a girlfriend or boyfriend, whoever, right? And we don't want to, sometimes we may even have to take off work. God forbid that. A lot of us can't afford to take off work, right? So we use excuses of why we don't want to vote. You know what I'm saying? Even if we have candidates. So she told the brother right about the down ballot strategy. If there's no down ballot, if there's nobody there, write in something. Just write, I'm here, but you don't have anything for me or something. But she implied that he put in ADOS, which I agree with. It's only one problem that I don't really see eye to eye with her on. It's only one problem that I find in that idea. Is that she also said on the presidential box, put ADOS. And that's where I have a problem with, because we have a presidential candidate. You have a presidential candidate in Dion D. Jenkins. I have a precise reparations package entitled DMLG, Defense Money Land Grants. What you don't understand is that a lot of people are going to be affected by this election. And every move that we make is very critical. So by telling the people to put in ADOS in the presidential box, is basically telling the Democratic National Committee that we reject even our own candidates who have precise ideas that fit our needs and desires as a people. Even if they're people, even if they're one of us. A man like myself who could trace his lineage back to the plantations on his mother and father's side. And the Democratic Party know I exist. And they have been doing a hell of a good job keeping you from knowing that I exist. And I'm not going to give you all of the details of the tactics that they have been using on social media and everything else to keep me out of your mind. But I will in future videos. This is my first video. right? And I just want to address this element of it. So even though the Democratic Party know that we have a candidate who fit our needs, we're still going to reject him. So what the message that they give, the message that sends to the Democratic Party, that message is sent in a way that deflates your whole purpose in a way that's just completely anti-purposeful. And I want to really explain why. Because when you mark ADOS in the presidential box, knowing that there are candidates out there who fit your need, what you're telling the DNC is you're saying that, look, we're not really sincere. We're not really sincere. And we are very disingenuous about our agenda. Because put yourself in their shoes. Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, all of these people are ignoring us. We got video footage of people being humiliated by these candidates mentioning reparations in front of them. Bernie Sanders being one of them. Kamala Harris being another one. Elizabeth Warren being another one. We have candidates who are going out of their way to dodge the issues of reparations. And you're at this point, you're begging. And I was taught never beg. You really want to know what would make a person like Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders or Kamala Harris or Joe Biden say, look, we probably got to take this reparations thing a little bit more seriously. You know what would make them go there? Is if they saw that you got behind your own candidate. It's not talking to Elizabeth Warren, telling her to get it right and all that type of stuff. That's not going to work. The only thing that's going to work is if you got behind your own candidate. Anything else is pointless. What you have to understand is you did not invite me to the ADOS conference. You and Antonio Moore put out this message to the people that you invited every person who's running for president. That you invited all of the presidential candidates and they all declined, except for Marianne Williamson. And I have a problem with that. I have an issue with that. Because you did not invite me. Matter of fact, I emailed you twice. And I emailed Antonio Moore. And no, I take that back. I hit Antonio Moore on Twitter a few times. And I didn't get any response. And I don't feel any entitlement to get an invitation. Let's make that clear. That's your event. You guys set that up. I have no problem with that. The problem I have is that you're telling people that nobody showed up because they declined your invite. So you're lying to the people. So when your followers hear about me, they're going to say, well, he didn't come to the ADOS conference. So that's another vote I'm not going to get, right? And you invited Marianne Williamson, right? And you're giving her all of this credit and all of this esteem that she don't deserve. Typical of Negroes. Very typical of Negroes. We think white ice is colder for some reason. We love white people, like Dr. Umar say, right? We love white people. And the Democratic Party knows this. That's why they're not responding to you, because you're begging them. You have a candidate out here and you're just overlooking him because he's not one of them. You're just begging and begging and begging and begging and begging. And it's embarrassing because you are one of the leaders of this movement. And it is embarrassing because I'm out here in the streets. I'm not on social media. I'm in the streets. I have a town hall meeting in New York in a couple of weeks. I'm flying to New York for a town hall meeting. It's not going to be on social media, though. So you have people out there talking to the people, getting the word out on the street level. And we have people on social media begging white candidates and giving too much esteem to the white ones who got a little bit more privilege because they're white to get their voice out a little bit better. And we're inviting them to our radio shows, and then you decline me, a real authentic ADOS foundational Black American who's running for president. That's the problem I have. And it got to stop. I don't feel entitled to anything you have. You don't have to invite me to your radio. I don't need that. But stop telling the people that I'm declining you. Stop telling the people that I'm an asshole when it's the other way around. Because I did reach out to you. You declined. And now you're telling people to vote down ballot and just skip the presidential box. And you got 60,000 followers on YouTube, and you telling all of your people to down ballot and just say, fuck the presidential candidacy. And it's a historical misstep. It is. Antonio Moore, you all on this white lady, hugging this white lady like you remind me of Botham Jean's brother, my nigga. Like, we're so forgiving, so catering to white people. Stop. That's not going to get us reparations. You got to show that you got some muscle, that you could do something on your own. I know you don't want to hear that because in your mind, oh, I saw the data. We can't do nothing by ourselves. You're partially right on the finances, but you can start a movement on your own. And you can wake up these people on your own. You can show the Democratic Party that we have our own candidate that we're going to support. And guess what? He for reparations. That's how everything starts. We start everything. They follow our lead. We don't follow theirs. Everything that we started, they copy. If you got behind your own candidate, eventually they're going to be like, look, we got to take this reparation seriously. Just like they did hip hop and rock and roll and the blues and everything else. They're going to jump on board. But it's your job to make it happen. It's not theirs. They are comfortable with white privilege. Marianne Williamson is just using the ADOS movement to benefit herself. To benefit herself. She's going to write books after this, get book deals, probably run for senator, become that off of ADOS. We love white people, like Dr. Umar say. For real, we do. And all of this division gotta stop. We don't gotta like each other, but we gotta get on code for this. Whatever personal issue you have with me, and I don't understand how you can have a personal issue with me. You don't know me. We've never met. You've never saw me. You've never talked to me or anything. So stop telling people not to support me, because that's what you're doing. You're not saying my name, but I'm a presidential candidate. I'm trying to get the people's support, and you're using your support base, telling them to write ADOS in the presidential box. Who is that going to hurt? That's going to hurt me and all of the work that I'm doing to get ADOS on the map for reparations. We got to stop this. This is very, very, very counterintuitive. All right. Like I said, this is not a diss video. You guys are doing a great job. You're doing a great job. I commend you. I commend you. And I had to make this video because you're telling people not to support me indirectly. And it will hurt me. It will hurt a person like myself who's running for president, because you do have an audience. And a cult following audience at that. They're going to listen. A lot of people, thousands of people are going to listen to what you say. They're going to go to the ballot. They're going to put ADOS when there's a presidential candidate named Dion D. Jenkins. And it's a quick Google search to find out that it's legitimate. A quick Google search. That's it. Dion D. Jenkins. Really, to be honest with you, I prefer Bing.com, but you could definitely Google it. It's a quick Google search. It's not hard. And I suggest that you do a little research on that candidate before you start putting out, hey, we're not going to vote for anybody, because it's disrespectful to my campaign. It is. You know, like, I've given you guys a lot of support. I've mentioned you in very positive ways. But you can't be begging to Marianne Williamson or Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris. These people, Marianne Williamson is talking about reparations, and she came to the ADOS conference, but so what? Okay, fine. But don't just over worship her. Okay, don't over worship it. Because really, her website states that she's only giving us $500 billion. Stop telling the people that there's nobody out here. Antonio Moore. Stop telling the people there's nobody out here. Stop doing that. It's very, very counterintuitive for your own movement. Now, if there's a hidden agenda, you need to be as transparent with the people as possible, because we've been duped too long. We've been tricked too long. And I'm not saying that you're trying to dupe or trick anybody. I don't know. I don't know you, just like you don't know me. But what I won't do is allow anybody to use their platform to attack what I got going on. Because I'm the only one who got a real reparations package. Defense money, land grants. Do some research. Find out who I am. Because I know you saw and heard about me. Because I've sent you emails. I've been all over social. I've been all over social media. The media. And I emailed you and hit you up. I reached out. So let's stop this. All right. Let's stop this. I didn't want to make this a long video, because I had to address that. I had to. I didn't have a choice. I had to address it. I don't want to come off as one of these guys on YouTube making response videos seeming like I'm clout chasing and shit. No, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do this because I like what you guys are doing. I like that you guys have an ADOS movement. I've reached out to you. Facts. I appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good work. I've sent you emails saying, hey man, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. The only problem I have is that you're telling the people to vote down ballot and skip the presidential ballot. vote down ballot, but also vote for me, because I'm ADOS lineage wise, and I have a reparations package that's going to give $60,000 plus equity per year in relations to the annual gross domestic product, GDP. And I'm going to give $3.1 million of a lump sum to every ADOS American. Facts. I got a defensive structure. Okay, a defensive structure that's going to protect us from white terrorism. A defensive structure that's going to protect us in our constitutional rights using the 14th Amendment. Land, 400 million acres of land in grants. 50 years of free money given to organizations ran by ADOS for financial institutions, schools, hospitals, infrastructure, science and technology. It is not going to have to come out of your own pocket. This is going to be government implemented grants given to you and other organizations. So let's do it. All right. Like this video, like it, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Like I said, I am going to be coming out with more videos very shortly. I'm working on a radio station. I'm going to leave a call-in number. Okay. For people to call in, because I want to talk to the people. I want to talk to the people. All right. But I'm out. Thank you.